I have never spoke this much in my entire life, man. Since starting this journey, the amount of words that are coming out of my mouth are more than what I spoke in the last 27 years of my life.
And
Facts.
I can't say the same for myself.
Oh God.
Yeah, you know, it's challenging. It's so fun, but also very challenging. Very challenging. But I love it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And welcome back to episode number 4.
Welcome back, everyone, to our new episode, number 4.
2 hearts, 1 home. We've got a logo. We're professional podcasters. Didn't you know?
Yeah, that's true. Well, welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
if
Welcome
you
back. We're
are
happy to be here.
If you are here, and this is the 4th episode that you are listening, thank you so much. You're a legend, and we appreciate you and love you for that.
Massive amount. But
Yes.
I do have one question. If it is your 4th time being here and you have enjoyed our stuff, please, somebody leave a comment, for God's sakes.
Just questions.
Give us a question. We
No,
want to
but-
do a Q&A session.
No,
we
but-
really do.
But you know what I think it is? I think we have been so open in our episodes that people don't know what to ask anymore.
What to ask?
Yeah, because they know everything.
Oh, true. Could be. Fucking could be.
Yeah.
I doubt it, though. I doubt it, though.
It might be a reason. But anyways, let's start with...
Just show the love, guys.
uh,
We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's start our episode with the first part of our program, that is the Mindset Mastery. So with our lesson of the week, and this time I'm going to start.
Let's go, baby.
So my lesson...
She doesn't know what mine is, and I have no idea what she's come up with.
Exactly, because this is raw. Yeah, by the way, this is not... Like, we do know what we're going to talk about, but we don't plan or...
We definitely don't do an episode run through.
Yeah, not at all. Because ADHD...
To be honest, we just we had to record a second recording for our last episode, and to be honest, it didn't feel as organic, eh?
Yeah.
I think it was a great episode, and please, if you've watched it, and let us know if you thought it was organic, but it was the second time we did it, so I really enjoyed just like the raw conversation that we have together, and it not being so planned.
Yeah, because it feels like you're just being yourself, and you're just
Yeah.
freely talking about something that you
Yeah.
have in your mind without being like, this is what I say, or this is what I should say.
Yeah, I agree. And like, guys, let us know if you love that or hate it, or you want it more scripted.
Yeah, if you want it more scripted, let me tell you that we might
Have a nervous breakdown.
give up, because that's not me. Anyways, let's start this with my lesson of the week. My lesson of the week is based on YouTube, actually a TikTok video that I watched, where the person that I was talking, and I think there was
The person that you're watching.
was talking on the
the
video, a motivational speech.
Motivational speaker, yeah.
Yeah. He was saying, and this might sound a bit cliche,
Cliche, yeah.
cliche. Don't compare yourself to others. Only compare yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
Where I'm coming from is,
Which is hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, and I know as humans, we do want things that another person have. We want to be successful as the other person is.
Yeah.
Because we have aspirations, and we want to follow a path that someone else.
Well, that leads to success or something like that.
Yeah, or the success. But that is where I'm coming from. You might be seeing the positive side of
their life,
of what they're going through, but you don't know what happened behind that path that they follow to be successful now.
Like
Also,
what shit they had to go through.
Exactly. And not just that, you might be saying, because we often find ourselves saying, oh, I want the life that this person have. I want the house that this person have. But do you know what they're also going through? They might be, because obviously everyone only chose the positive on social media or make it public. But we don't know anything negative behind the scenes.
Some people show the raw stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
not very common.
general consensus is everything's fucking amazing. They got $1 billion and they're just living the best lifestyle and they're happy all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you want to live a life when you actually don't know what is their life about?
Yeah.
So not because you want to be successful means that that's the only thing that they're going through. And the only person that you should compare yourself to is yourself, to the person that you were yesterday, to the person that you were a week ago.
Yeah.
Because we are in a constant progress. We are in a constant changing and transformation. And that's the only thing that you should compare yourself to. So to yourself, the person that you were yesterday, and just improve from that and fight for that. And if you see any negative that you used to see on yourself, be like, I don't want to be that. I want to be better. And then you just compare it to yourself, and then you just go for it. So as cliche as it sounds, don't compare yourself to others. Only compare yourself to you.
And just be a little bit better than yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
We are not perfect. So
did I marry a philosopher? Did I? Woo! Very good, baby. I'm liking it.
Smart girl.
Smart girl. Okay, so I'm going to talk about nurturing a growth mindset and embracing learning opportunities. And I just want to read something to you. Nurturing a growth mindset and embracing learning opportunities is about fostering a mindset that focuses on continuous self-improvement, embracing challenges, and seeing obstacles as opportunities to learn and grow. This concept is based on the work of psychologist Carl Dweck, I think it is, Dweck, who coined the term fixed mindset and growth mindset. And I just want to talk about it a little bit because I think you can get caught up in the negative
easy.
Yeah. Or you can I think it's really hard to adapt to a growth mindset all of the time because you do go through hard shit in your life. You go through changes, you go through all of this type of stuff. And it's not all positive, but adapting a growth mindset for me is not necessarily like beating yourself down. Like it's about being in the moment and having a little reflection and being like, fuck, I'm going through some shit right now. Because, you know, you might have all of these goals and you might be like, oh, you know, I'm trying to keep consistency. I'm trying to hit the gym all the time. I'm trying to fucking work on this podcast all the time. I'm trying to like have success and I'm trying to put myself out on there on social media and I'm not getting traction and this and that. And then you're working really hard towards that goal. And then all of a sudden something hits you, something with family, there's illness or, you know, something in your job's like not working or whatever. You know, you have a setback. And it's really easy to just be negative and drop everything.
Yeah.
But and I'm not saying you'd be able to do it straight away. And I definitely can't do it straight away. Or like identify, fuck, this is shit, but hey, let's just keep going. But I think it's really important to try and come to a point where you're able to be like, you know what, this is shit. It doesn't feel really good, but it's all good. There's a lesson in this. And I'm just going to like go through that emotion for a little bit and then use that to power going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to have some obstacles or negative things in your life because it makes us move from our comfort zone.
takes us out of our comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we are always like in the same level, nothing exciting or negative is happening, you feel like, oh, this is okay, and you're very static on your life.
Yeah.
But when you have these ups and downs, obviously the downs, if you reflect on them, it makes you like, I don't want to be that. I just want to be better. And it pulls you to be better and to change. So use that obstacle as a learning to change things.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then just
But like
to the roof.
But nothing that leads to success is easy. Now, there might be a few couple little things, but majority of things that lead you to have major changes in your life in a positive direction are fucking really difficult at the time of going through them. Really difficult. You know, so having that growth mindset, like you could be studying something or doing something and just being like, this is so hard, and like just about to give up on yourself or whatever. But if you just pump through that, get through it, just grind, get through it. On the other end is the carrot, is the lesson, is the, oh, it all fucking makes sense, and the success.
Yeah, and the satisfaction of knowing that you did struggle.
And you made it through.
Because I don't know what everyone thinks, but when you are trying to achieve something and it's easy to achieve, it doesn't feel like as...
Oh, there's no like massive high, like, oh, fuck it, or accomplishment.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't feel like, oh, you did a massive thing in your life. But when you struggle and you did have all these obstacles and up and down, and then you cross that and then you get to the very end and your success is like,
oh, this is mad. Fuck yeah. Look what I just went through.
Yeah. And I often find myself in that when I feel like, oh, I can do it. And then when I go through it, I'm like, how can I just think that I couldn't do it?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my God, if I did that, I come with anything. And you find me often saying things like that.
Yeah. But like I can relate it back to I had a job like 18 months ago or something like that. And I was in that job for about 18 months. And it was so fucking hard. I was worked out of my brain. Like, it was I was getting over 150 on average emails a day that needed to be actioned. Like, it was, and you know, not all of them were like I needed to do a whole bunch for them and like, you know, hours and hours of work, but I had to read through them all and I had to get through them all. And if I didn't, I was going to get another 150 the next day and then the next day. And honestly, it was brutal. And my boss was a bit of a dick. And he's probably just trying to figure it out and stuff, but he was just a bit of a dick. And just put me under so much pressure. I was under so much pressure. I was working like 12-hour days minimum. It was all through COVID. So then it was like isolation and all of that.
Very hard.
And he would just call you out. He would just smash you. And, you know, to the point where he's like, don't CC me in emails. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then when something blew up, why don't I know about this? And it's like, well, if you wanted to know about it, you would have been CC'd in the email. But like, literally,
that's what you asked for.
Yeah, I'm literally telling you now, and I've got it handled and blah, blah, blah. And I was looking after a massive portfolio of clients, like, oh, I can't even remember how much, maybe 36 million or something. I was trying to onboard customers. Like, it was fucking brutal. And in the moment at the time, I was just like, oh my God, I was so stressed. I was overworked and I was just in the trenches, and I just felt like nobody understood what I was going through. And and then you've got a boss that's just going like, I'm saying to him like, hey man, I don't have like enough time in the day to be able to achieve all of this, like blah, blah, blah. And he would just be like, all right, well just come to me with your diary and let's like figure out, you know, where we can fit 15 minutes in and shit. Like,
to do something else.
And I think to this day...
Man, I'm just telling you that I can't fit anything and you're asking me to do something else.
Yeah, like brutal. And I think to this day, when I left, I think they got like 2 account managers and then a new business salesperson to replace me. So like 3 jobs. It was fucking wild. Anyway, but my point is, when I left and I've got a new job, blah, blah, blah. When I reflect back on that, oh my God, it was a hard time. But I'm really happy I went through that time and persisted and did all of that, because it taught me what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
How stretched I'm able to be and still function. And like, I don't really want to go back there and do that, but am I capable of doing something like that?
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Did I get a whole bunch of crazy life lessons and work lessons and new habits and better ways to manage my time efficiency and like time management and all of that? Yes. I learnt so much. I'm a better professional because of it, 100%, but it was fucking tough.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to go through hard times and difficult things in their life, but I feel like difficult times or obstacles, it just teaches us that what are we capable of do?
Yeah.
Because
what are we capable of do?
Of doing, sorry. Of doing. Because this is what I go to. This is what I go to.
What am I capable of doing? I love you, babe. My cute Colombian mother. Mother. What the fuck?
If my mother-in-law is watching this is what you teach to your son. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
The teasing.
Oh, I definitely get the teasing from my mum.
Yeah, 100%. Well, coming back to what I was saying, it just hard times in life tests us.
Take two.
Test us.
It takes us.
No, test.
Oh,
us.
test us. Yeah.
Test us. And our skills and ability to fulfill or
exactly. So
things.
To go back to my point about,
oh my god, it took me 5 minutes to go through this little sentence.
yeah. So, but back to the nurturing, the growth mindset. If I was able in that time to be able to be more positive each day and be like, no, these are good lessons. This is going to I'm going to be an absolute beast when I get through this. I think I would have learnt more. I would have been way more joyful throughout the days.
Yeah.
It would have been easy to go through COVID by myself and stuff. Like, it would have just helped me to have that outlook on it. Like, oh, yes, it's hard, this and that. But having a negative outlook was detrimental because I was feeling shitter. I was more depressed and I was fucking anxious and all of these types of things. But if I was like, no, this is hard, but every day just reminding myself like, no, listen, by the end of this, you're going to be a beast. I think I would have got even more out of the experience.
Yeah.
And so
but
I
don't
think
be
it's
too hard on yourself. Like, it's very hard.
Oh,
it's
no,
very hard to keep in a positive mindset the whole time.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it gets the best of us.
And I think that, by no means do I know how to be in a growth mindset. I just think that it's something that I've been thinking about and I want to be in, and it's not something that's easy. So it's something that you're going to go in and out of, but if you can always just come back to, oh no, this is probably a lesson and it's going to improve my life and stuff, then I think you'll benefit. You'll benefit, you know. I certainly think that I will.
Yeah. Well, good lessons this week.
Oh, and moving on to the main subject, which is
we're moving on to the next section of this episode that it's called Thought-Provoking Talks.
Thought-Provoking Talks, yes. And the topic for today is friendships. Friendships.
So maintaining long-lasting friendships, or how to make new friendships,
new friendships, or assess whether you're in the right friendships.
Yeah.
And this is something that I think everybody's just still learning. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe some people have it figured out, but I certainly don't. But in saying that, I have a really good friend group of mates.
I think it also goes in your personality and how extrovert or introvert you are, because it does help you. I do struggle with friendships, not because I don't think I'm a bad friend, not at all, but I feel like I do struggle maintaining or engaging or keeping in contact with friendships, with my friends, and because the other person doesn't understand what you're going through, it's easy for them to tag you as bad friend or not good enough, and then the relationship dies. So actually the last year a lot of my friendships did die.
Yeah.
And in the beginning it was a bit hard for me, and I was really hard on myself. But I also come to conclusion to maintain friendships. It goes both ways.
Oh,
So
100%.
because I was making me feel myself that it was me, the one that it let the friendships die. But like, hey, what did the other person do
Yeah.
to keep in contact? Or
Yeah, I think that friendships are really tricky. So a couple of points. Choosing friends, maintaining friendships, having the right friends or the wrong friends, goes back to choosing your friendships. And so let's just talk about choosing friends. Like, as a kid, you don't really get that option. When you go to school, you're just thrown in with a group of people, and then, you're just with a bunch of people. And if you're somebody that hasn't moved away from their area, still lives in their hometown, probably still maintain those friendships. If you're somebody like Leiry who's moved countries, you don't have that at all. And if you're somebody like me that's moved, I think I've moved house something up around 18 times in my life, maybe more. And I've been across 2 different states and like 4 or 5 different, 2 or 3 different states and maybe like 5 different cities. So
yeah, I definitely think your lifestyle affects your friendships or help you to build or connect with more people. Because, for example, in my case, so I grew up in a city, but then when I was 10, I moved to another city. So, of course, very young, I wasn't going to maintain, or I didn't make the effort to maintain, or I didn't know the importance of keeping
But maybe
friendship.
sometimes it's not really in your control as kid either.
Yeah, because I
Can't just
moved.
travel
Yeah.
to a different city by yourself.
I just moved
like,
cities and I was 10 years old. Then I went to a different school and different city. I moved like suburbs in between few times, and I did my whole high school in there. And then yes, I did have a group of friendships, but once again, you graduate from high school, you go to uni. Of course, some friendships, you keep some friendships, but then you change to university.
As an adult, it's a bit easier because you're more in control. But
Yeah, exactly. And then I moved countries.
Yeah.
So very hard to maintain friendships or keep in contact, especially when you are on the other side of the world where while you awake, they are sleeping. So
yeah, it's difficult. And so I guess as an adult, you get to choose your friends. And normally, hopefully, a lot of the time, it's based around people that you work with because you're there most of the time. And then, around hobbies that you do. If you're somebody that does a lot of hobbies or sports and stuff, I guess you'll fit into a sporting group. And it's much easier to, resonate with people in that way because you have something in common. If you don't do sport, it could be around, surfing or whatever the extracurriculum activity that you're doing. But I just want to talk about maintaining friendships.
yeah.
So as you mentioned earlier, I'm pretty good at maintaining, as in like reaching out to people.
Yeah.
And like having, even if they're interstate or whatever, like having a phone call and boys and girls, if you're in my friend group, and I'm talking shit, call me on it in the comments. But I believe.
Oh man, this guy right here talks like he works in a call center non-stop. By 7 a.m. By 7 a.m. he already spoke to 3 different friends. I'm like, dude, what's going on?
Yeah. But I think I kind of pride myself on that, on like, just trying to stay in contact with the people that that are there for you and care for you and that type of thing. But in saying that, it needs to be reciprocated. It's important to be reciprocated, because if you're the one that's always reaching out and stuff, then and they don't, then you're kind of stuck with either you might be annoying.
Yeah.
And I definitely am sometimes. But I do, my mates do give me a call as well. So I think it's really important to have that balance and stuff. So you need to be, and if you're not getting that from your friend, maybe they're, not the right friend, I guess, because I guess you need to be like it needs to be reciprocated. You
Yeah,
need your mates to be able to give you a call sometime as well, because if you're going through a tough time in life and all of a sudden all of that communication stops because you're the one that's been putting it in, and then they're not calling you, isn't it a normal thing for a friend to be like, oh, hey, Zeke calls me all the time and he hasn't called me for like a week, or maybe he's not okay. Should I give him a call and see if he's okay?
Yeah.
Like, because if one of my friends hadn't contacted me in a while, I would probably reach out and be like, hey, bro, you all good? Even if it's over a text, it doesn't need to be, because they might be going through something. And they're not willing to talk on the phone. They could have a sick family member or lost their job, or I don't know, like battling addiction or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Or a relationship breakdown or something. So
yeah, I feel like sometimes people have the tendency to, and this is what happened in my case, and I lost a friendship because of that. I just think the person did assume that I just didn't want to keep in contact, but I was going through so many things at that time in my life, so many things that keep in contact with a friend, it wasn't in my priority list.
Yeah.
It was more important my mental health, my mom, my father-in-law, keeping my relationship in a healthy way. And then, so if you decide to assume things because you also choose not to contact or not maintain the relationship, well, that's also on you.
Yeah.
Because relationship it goes both ways.
Yeah, and that's tough. But I think, also you'll just know if those people are like there for you, that your friends will just, you can ring somebody if you're just broken down in your car on the highway and you've got no money and you need a lift home. There's certain friends that'll come and get you. Hopefully they live close by.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know friendships are affected by different factors, like if you're an extrovert and you're a social person and you want to hang out all the time and you are very talkative and you want to reach out all the time, and also it affects in people like me that have social anxiety, so have difficulty in going out all the time, feel like when it's a crowd place, feel overwhelmed and doesn't want to be part of that, have the tendency to cancel plans on last minute. And then also something that it actually happens to me a lot is, and I'm going to blame my ADHD in this, is I forget to reach out.
Yeah.
I forget to, not because I'm a bad person or I'm a bad friend. It's just because it's just my mind. And something that I do often is I have friends that text me and I try to message me and I just sometimes forget to reply. Or I see the text and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to reply later. And then it's 3 days later and I didn't reply to the text. So I just get the talk of like, oh, this person is just mean, blah, blah. But it's no good intention.
Yeah, and it's hard because, everybody's going through stuff in their lives and that, fucking not communicating about their emotions and all of that because you don't necessarily want to disclose what's going on in your life. So, sometimes you find it hard to keep in touch and that type of thing. But, I guess just trying to just align that, that person is, you have similar values and you offer something. But I think that there's a few different categories that you should have in friendships as well. So I think
I do agree with that too.
Like, I think that you should have some people around you that you don't gain anything from. So it's just genuine friendship and you just have a few things in common, and it could be potentially somebody that you've
go out with.
No, well, like it could be potentially somebody that you've grown up with and you've grown apart and you don't really have that much in common or anything anymore. But when you don't see each other all the time, but when you do see each other, it's just like back to normal, just 100%. There's, you're not gaining anything.
Yeah.
I think that then you should have some people in your life that you're able to give knowledge to and wisdom and that type of thing. That might be a younger person. It could be a cousin or a brother or sister or whoever. And then I think that you should have some people in your life that you're going to gain knowledge from and that are smarter than you. And when you're doing something stupid, they're going to like pull you in line. Do you know what I mean? they're going to be like, mate, you've been a dickhead, or oh, have you thought about it this way? Sorry, what was I saying? I was saying, yeah, so different friends. So, and then, you know, somebody that's smarter than you, that's like making bigger moves, that, you know, that is an actual friend and going to advise you in how to level up and gain influence from, and, you know, almost in a mentor type of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, there's a few different things, but I think it's really important to do that, because it's all obviously.
I also think we should have friends that are very different than you, they make you see life in a different perspective. And that's important because it just makes you get knowledge.
Well, yeah, and that's somebody that you're gaining something from, isn't it?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not like.
And something that sorry to interrupt you twice. Something that I learned through life is, in relationships, regardless if it's like romantic or friendships, you always have to gain something from them and give something to them. It's like a transaction.
Yeah. But not
in a bad way.
In a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
And you shouldn't be in something to always get something. You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, it can be different things. It can be like, it makes you life more funny. It makes your life more easier. It helps you with things, or you help them with things, or you both enjoy life together. It doesn't have to be like something super crazy, but
there should always be like, you know, love and genuineness and all of that, you know, like genuine care for that friend and that type of thing as well. Yeah, friendships are difficult. And I think as you get older as well, you know, when you're a kid, you might consider yourself to have like 30, 40, 50 friends or something like that. And as you get older, let me tell you, you don't have 30, 40, 50 friends. Some people do. I think that people that are into sports and that type of thing in that team environment might have a massive group of friends. But when it comes to like actual people you can count on, those solid mates, you only need a handful.
Yeah. And I also think it's very important to know, don't be too hard on yourself, that if you lose friends or if you move past, sometimes people just come into your life because they needed something from you or you needed something from them.
Oh,
and
yes.
then the time is over. They, how can I say this? Whatever they were gaining or giving to you, it happened. And then it's time to take different.
Yeah, there's definitely chapters where people are meant to be in your life for a certain reason or certain period of time, and sometimes it's really hard to identify that.
Yeah,
and it's quite like an emotional sort of like, oh, what's happening? Like, why have we fallen out or whatever? And I don't think it needs to always be over a fallout. It's just like you've grown apart. But that's tough sometimes.
Yeah, it is tough. It does happen often when you have this friend that you work with them all day, all the time, and you hang out because this is the person that you see all the time.
Yeah.
Then you decide to move jobs, and then the relationship die or fall apart. It's because you move and like you are changing, and then it will come another person into your life, or they will go to do their part in someone else's life too.
Yeah, and it's like it's a tough topic because, like, by no means do I have all the answers or whatever, and
No.
like, fuck, they're difficult. I do have some really lovely friends. I have some really, really good friends, and you know, there's not many of them, but they're all solid people, and I love you all, guys. You mean a lot to me. You all know who you are, so.
I also think, and that is it depends of the maturity of the person as well. That if they understand that if you are not reaching out to them and if you are not in constant communication with them 24/7, it's because they understand that you also have a life. You also marry. You also have another friends. You also, I don't know, working towards your career or trying to grow a family. So it depends. It's also in the maturity of the person.
Oh, yeah. So that's really interesting. I'm glad you brought that up because, like, obviously people are going through, like, stages in their life.
Yeah.
So I had this when I was a single man and all of my mates were getting into relationships. and I was always like that third wheel with them.
Yeah.
And that's fucking awkward being that third wheel, and you still want to hang out with your mate, and yes, they're going to make time for you without their partner, but at the end of the day, they just want to fucking hang out with their partner.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. And at the time, I didn't necessarily like associate it or whatever, or have any like malicious feelings towards anybody, but it was like I was just a third wheel. Yeah. And I didn't understand the other side, because I did used to think like, oh, well, when am I going to find that one to be able to, fucking have that person in my life? But I found it very difficult to find that person. I'm lucky I found that person in you, babe. And, now I have a best friend at home all of the time.
Exactly. And you understand that then your life changed, and because we are a team, we are also really good friends, and we enjoy doing things together. Well, sometimes it makes difficult to be like, oh, I will go out to do something else, because you know that you enjoy also your life with your partner. So not that you don't want to do anything with your friends, but like
how nice is it now being able to hang out with those friends that are in those relationships and hang out together.
Yeah.
With them. That's fucking awesome. It's a whole different level. I'd never done that. Not much in my life. Not much in my life. And that's fucking cool. But then now, obviously, I've got friends that are single, and now I see their position, because it's like awkward for them. But like, I've got some really good friends that are single, and I still hang out with them and stuff like that. But
we can hang out, the three of us.
Yeah. But it's a different, you're at different stages. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's oh man, friendships, they're wonderful. But like you said, like chapters.
They are like a romantic relationships. They are hard work and
friendships.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to put if you want to have a healthy friendship, you got to put in the work as well. Like
and then put in effort and making time and communicating with them, because obviously miscommunication happen in friendships as well. So it's just a learning.
And like, if you don't have a friend, find a friend that is happy for you no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, supports the fuck out of you, just pumps you up. Like, that's so nice to have.
Yeah.
Somebody in your life that is just like, because you know how sometimes you hang out with people and like they're not necessarily that positive all the time or whatever, and I don't have anybody like this in my life actually, but I have done in the past, and how they're always a little bit negative or whatever, and when you've just had like this massive accomplishment, or you've been through something in life, and they kind of like compete with that, or they're like they minimize it.
Yeah,
it's fucking a shit feeling. And like, just be happy. Like, I've got some friends in my life now that like, and myself, if they're genuinely killing it and they're doing way better than me, I'm just so fucking happy for them. I'm like, oh man, you're killing it. And like, I've got friends that would do that for me. Not that I'm doing better than anybody, but what I mean is like, if I just like succeeded or something, or got married or whatever, they would just be like, bro, I'm so fucking happy for you. And that is such a nice feeling.
Yeah. Something very important to know or learn or take from this is if someone is not vibing in the same energy as you, don't be afraid of dropping that and removing and canceling the behavior. So I think if you need to check and realize and reflect on who is there for you, who is actually making effort or not, don't be afraid. And if you're gonna be and only keep one friend, keep that one, but that is top quality.
Yeah, which is not an easy thing to do.
Quality over quantity, 100%.
Yeah, I'd agree. All right, guys, this is going to be a nice short episode. Actually, we're a little bit time poor tonight. But so, is that it? Are we done with that?
Yeah, I think obviously everyone have different perspectives of the friendships and how they live their life and how they go through the friendships.
Oh yeah, we've got basically we're a couple trying to figure out life, and we basically don't really know anything. So if we if we got it wrong, then we got it wrong. But it's just our perspective.
Yeah.
You know, I think that
Just remember, this is a multicultural couple's perspective. So what we're saying in this podcast or this episode or any other episode, it's not a fact. It's just what we think. It's our experience and it's things that we go through. And if you can relate to that, good.
At the end of the day, fill your life with people that care about you and love you and want the best for you, and reciprocate that energy, care for them, love them, and be there for them and pump them up and support them.
Yeah.
And you'll have some really healthy relationships. Do the same for your partner, do the same for your family, and just fucking throw around the love word. There's nothing wrong with a dude saying to his mate, hey, bro, I fucking love you. I'm glad you're in my life and I really appreciate, you know, all the support over this. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Yeah,
I think it's very important to always let people that you care for know that they're loved by you and you care for them.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Because it might make a change.
And sometimes it might feel a little bit weird, but I guarantee if they're your mate and you just be like, bro, I fucking love you, or whatever a girl would say to a girl, like, sis, babes, I fucking love you, whatever, I guarantee they'd just be like, oh man, I love you too.
Yeah, 100%.
It's fucking nice. And that's a nice feeling. That feels nice.
Yeah. So,
and everybody probably doesn't do that enough. And I'm not saying you need to do it every day or every week or whatever, but just like, you know, it's nice to appreciate your mates.
Once upon a time. Okay, let's continue with our next section.
And the next section is dropping gems. Let's go. All right, baby. So I think last week you got to drop your gem first. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm dropping mine first. So mine is a podcast, or a podcaster, but it's a particular video. So there's a bloke named Ice, or Isaac. I can't remember his last name. Isaac. He is the owner or business part owner in the business called YKTR. If he saw this, and I'd trip out because it's a bit confrontational, but not confrontational. But hey, man, I've been watching all your podcasts. I used to listen to your podcast. He's got a podcast called currently do a podcast called The Ice Project on Spotify. It's really good. It's about entrepreneurialism. It's been in the top 10 a bunch of times. Really, really good podcast. And he's an ex-NRL player. Started a clothing label with 3 mates. It's called YKTR. If you've heard of it, it's a cool clothing label. It's fucking awesome, actually. And they have a YouTube channel called YKTR. And the video is called, if you jump on YouTube and type in Ice opens up on Scope leaving. And basically it's an episode about him and his mate. He had a mate. He has a whole bunch of mates that work for him, and it hasn't necessarily worked out, you know, super well all of the time, as you can imagine, through friendships, and so I'm kind of tying it into the whole friendship piece, and the chapter, you know, a chapter of life. But go watch the video, because it's a video of, and you haven't watched this, have you, babe?
No.
It's a video about his mate leaving the business. Well, there's 2 mates that leave at the same time, and one mate hands in his resignation letter, and then Ice walks out and walks in, and then basically says to Scope, "Hey, old mate's resigning," and Scope just goes like, "Oh yeah, me too, man," and just drops it on him. And it's a video about his reaction to that, and it is just 100% raw emotion, and I just admire it so much, to be honest. It's because we've just been going through this whole journey of like just putting ourselves out there in the world, and putting ourselves out there to the world in social media. And these guys have been doing it for years, years now, 3-4 years. I think the brand's like 3 years old. And they've just documented their whole journey, which is really cool, and I vibe it so much. And they're from a similar area. They live here on the eastern suburbs of Sydney.
Yeah.
And it's just a video of just raw emotion, and just watching it, I just admire it for somebody to just be able to be like pretty emotionally in touch and intelligent in the sense that, you know, just going through the emotion and having the fucking balls to jump on the internet and just say his piece on being sad and let down and not being able to be the guy's friend anymore, and but not being like malicious and being a cunt, like not, you know, not bad mouthing him or anything like that, just being like, fuck, I'm hurt. I thought things were going good. I thought that it could have been handled better.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm not able to be your mate anymore. And fuck, it's just so raw. And he cries in it and stuff. And you know, I just really admire it. So go check it out. But also just go check out his podcast, The Ice Project, and YKTR itself.
The brand. Yeah.
The brand's fucking cool as.
Yeah. They have really nice.
It's just really simple. It's nice as.
Yeah. I do like it as well.
So that's me, guys, dropping gems.
Yes. So my gem for this week is a guy that when I was going through.
There's another guy in your life.
Yes. When I was going through a hard time in my life, in 2019, I just came across videos on YouTube of him, and then he just make my life change and how I see life or the work in different aspect. And every time, I'm not lying with this, every time I feel unmotivated, sad, or I need to feel better about myself and my life, I just listen to him.
Can you fucking tell us who it is? I'm dying.
And just this is Jordan Peterson.
Oh, yeah, he's dope, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, I like him.
I love, so you can find him on YouTube, you can find him on Spotify. He does have a podcast.
TikTok, Instagram, anything. Type in Jordan Peterson.
Yes. And also we recommend to read his book, 12 Rules of Life. Or
Have you read that?
Yeah. And Beyond the Border as well.
Yeah.
They're two books. Really
I haven't read them.
The only thing that I see with him is he writes in a very difficult way to read. Like it's not as easy to read.
Oh, now you got ADHD medication, mate. You'd be sweet.
I actually haven't tried reading it with now that I'm taking ADHD. But if you can't do it like reading, just go and listen to his videos. He's a bit he is a bit confrontational, and he does
but he's real.
Yeah, and he
so real.
And I was actually listening to a video of that he says. I was listening to a video today where he says, "Don't feel afraid to talk or communicate how you feel. You should be more afraid to not say your piece."
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, and he say, and sometimes you might say things that might be nasty or sound a bit selfish, but I think you should be more afraid. He says this, you should be more afraid of not speaking your piece and keep it to yourself because you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
So that's a bit confrontational because especially from someone like me, because I don't usually say anything. Whatever people say, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just...
Yeah, until she gets home. She's like, fuck.
Yeah, until I get home and I just tell everything to him. But anyways, so that's my gem of the week. Jordan Peterson, love it.
Yeah, he's dope. He's really cool.
Yeah.
He's like, he is confrontational. But like, I think he's what the world needs right now.
Yeah, and he is confrontational, but he gives a great explanation of why he thinks the way he thinks, and he does have
like he's a psychologist and potentially even a doctor. I don't know. Don't quote me.
Yeah, he has a psychologist
psychology degree, and but he's just studied the human emotion and human behaviors for so long. Like he's really, really informed.
Yeah, so just go check it out.
All right, guys, is that us, babe?
Yes.
Fucking hell,
we just did this podcast like professionals, I would say.
Very smash that.
Yeah, really good.
Very smashed that. Whoops.
So
guys,
just
comment.
Yeah.
No, go, baby.
just remember, if you go or if you learn something from this episode, or if it made mean or meant
It was
something,
beneficial.
yeah, for you, the only thing that we ask for is to like this video and share with someone that might need it.
Oh, and a little subscribe.
Subscribe, like, share this video.
Yeah, weekly episodes coming out. We really want to do a Q&A segment at the end of each episode. But to be able to do a Q&A, we need
some
questions from the viewers. So drop a comment in our YouTube channel. Send us a DM on any social media. You can find us on social TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever is your cup of tea.
Yeah, 2 hearts, 1 home pot.
Exactly. And share it. Share it. We'd really appreciate it. Weekly episodes dropping Wednesday, 7 p.m. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m.
Yeah, so let's go and take our pictures of the video.
Yeah, a little posing section. We need a thumbnail, guys. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Next week, we are talking about... You'll know when you hear the episode. Thanks, guys.
Bye. We love you.
Love you all. Stay positive. Send the love. Send the love to your friends. Remember to do that. Tell them you love them and you appreciate them. Peace.